Now, today we have a special guest. I'm so pleased to be able to share and announce and invite him to come forward. So, Kenneth, come on up here. Some of you were here back in June when the Reverend Kenneth Jackson dropped in, and we got a chance. I wasn't here, but you got a chance to meet him. Kenneth is a pastor in Liberia, Africa, and he has got a master's degree. He's working on a doctoral of ministry degree here at Asbury Seminary in Kentucky. He has a family member who lives here in Coon Rapids, and that's part of what brings you to this area as a part of your educational leave. You're visiting family right here in Coon Rapids, and he looked us up and said, I've got to connect with some Methodists. And that's who we are, right? And Kenneth is the director of evangelism and missions in Liberia. He and his family, and by the way, we're going to have a picture there up there, so you could maybe introduce them to us. And they live in Monrovia. And I understand from Kenneth that Monrovia was named after our president, James Monroe. So that was kind of cool. I learned something about Monrovia, Liberia. But he has a heart as well for the homeless, especially homeless children. So he's here to share a little bit about his life and his ministry and his mission. And if you want to visit with him afterwards out here in the lobby, learn a bit more about him and maybe partner with him, we want to invite you to do so. But I'm going to hand the mic over to you, Kenneth. We're so glad to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to hear your word.
Thank you so much for giving me your time, for welcoming me since my arrival here on the 8th. When I arrived, I'm a Methodist. I grew up in the Methodist church. I know God in the Methodist church, and like all of you. But I was looking for a church, a Methodist church, to worship. And I Googled your church, and it was the very closest church to me. And my first day of entry, Brother Scott, he's not here today. The church prepared everything. He was not here, and you came to my house at my sister's place, and you picked me up. The reception, your smile, the warmth I received from you speaks volumes to me. It tells me that you are a missions church. And that is the heartbeat of God. That is the heartbeat. And so when I came here, and the worship here, the music, it touched me. Because I'm a mission man. Yes. And when I see people, I read your bulletin, the areas you are touching lives, and I had dinner with the Mahumans family. I may get that right. And then they took me out. We went to the place, and I was just moved. But I'm Kenneth. I'm elder info connection of the United Methodist Church, but now serving in my home country, in Liberia, Monrovia, that was named in honor of your fifth president, James Monroe. The first name of that city was Christopoli. Can you imagine that? City of Christ. That was the first name of our capital. But because your president paid a debt we owe to other Great Britain at the time, we have to undo, listen to this, we have to undo that to give man the glory instead of God. And whenever you undo God's life or God's plan for your life, it's chaos. But that is my family, my wife, my kid, that little guy, we just took him, he's one of the kids, orphan, we just adopted him. He's also Jackson. Yeah, so I serve as associate director. I'm responsible for training. We do pastoral training. I'm a pastor trainer. I do church planting. I do a lot of missions in West Africa. And I'm here, and God has blessed me to come to the U.S. to do my doctoral studies. Emphasis in preaching and leadership at Asbury. These are just few of the kids, rural kids we are dealing with. And Liberia was plagued by 14 years of civil war. Some of you read that. We were recovering. Then we had another issue, the Ebola, that struck the entire world. Our country was one of the, in fact, it was the epicenter. People could not, one of my little kids, you saw the little girl, my daughter Kendra, she was born in our bedroom because our health facility was broken down. We couldn't trust the medical practitioners. The medical practitioners could not trust the citizen. That was the situation. So my wife delivered in our bedroom. But God is great. God is great. So we do training. We help people. These are some of the pastors we train. This one of the churches, the older church in the Liberia Annual Conference, that is the first United Methodist Church that was established 1822. So we do that. That's our emphasis as our scope of reference with the Liberia Annual Conference. So we train pastors, we plant churches. Last year we planted 6 churches. We reached out, we did discipleship, and that is what we do. This is just one of the cases there. After our training, we are taking people to the creek. That is the St. John River that borders my county, you call it state, and another county for baptism. So, I'm here. I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to know you, know me. Because every time I come to the States, I will always worship with you. You are my home church in the U.S. Okay? Yeah. This church may be new to me, but not really new in the sense of United Methodism. Because we are all Methodists. And I'm elder in full connection. And one of my brothers served here before, if you know Seaford Davis. Reverend L.K. Okay. We all serve in the same church back home. He's now in Texas with his family. And I told him I was coming here to share. So my wife and myself, we also personally, because of the passion, because of the love we have, on our personal note, we take care of a lot of orphans because the challenge is huge. I was so impressed when I came, I ate a lot of food. You have everywhere you see food. And yes, you have it. You have it. You have it. But there are so many kids out there, you know, and I know because you are into missions. You are doing some in Tanzania. But there are so many kids out there that don't have it as we speak. There are so many Ebola orphans out there that only need to go to school. We went through war because illiteracy is hard. So I'm going to go into detail. Right after church, I encourage you, stop by. You want to see some of the pictures, just little our brother put there, to encourage you. Do missions. Do missions. If you cannot go, support the church to go. Take care of strangers. Because you know what? At the end of the day, the least of these, Matthew 25, 35 to 40, the least of these. Because when we appear before God, God will not ask you how much you accumulated when you were on earth. God will not ask you how much wealth you had in the bank, how many children you had. God will not ask you your position. God will ask you, so what did you do? Did you feed the hungry? That is the question. Did you clothe? Because Kenneth came at your church. Kenneth shared that people were hungry. Did you support Kenneth? That would be the question. Yes, that would be the question. Because there will be no excuse. Because somebody had come. You may have it here. You are doing it all around here. But there are greater needs out there. So I encourage you. Thank you, Pastor. I want to thank the leadership of this church for allowing me to share and to be part of you. And we can just go on and on and on. But I want to encourage you. Support the church to do missions. Support the church to feed the hungry. Support the church to send someone to school out in Africa. Right now, if you check to my sister's house, I've been out in the street. I'm moving around, begging for clothing, shoes, whatsoever. Because many times my sister ship things back home, and we share that with people we don't know. So I encourage you. You have in your garage, check in your garage. That is my challenge to you. You are doing it. But God is counting on you. You. 2010, the food wasted in the U.S. amounted to 161 billion. Food wasted. According to the statistics. I saw the statistics. I said, wow. I went to one of the churches in Alabama, Auburn United Methodist Church. I shared there in our 2 services. And one of the guys took me out. I was shocked. The food, when we went to the place to eat, the food that was wasted, the leftover. I told him, I said, hey, David, Joe, pack all the food. Let me take it to my village. Yes, it's serious. It's very serious. Let me take it to my village. Let somebody live on that. But I encourage you. Thank you for accepting me. And I want you to know me more. And I want to know this church more. So that we can all, because I cannot do it alone. You cannot do it. There where strategic partnership comes. So I'm inviting you after church. You're going to see more pictures. You're going to see the history so that you will know the country I'm talking about. That I will give you detailed history. Don't go. Come. That will be short, less than 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes out there. Thank you. And God bless this church. God bless the people of this church. God bless your ministry. The leadership of this church, the children. God bless you. Thank you.